What's going on, YouTube? This is Lady Lots coming back at you, just coming to do another video. Um, y'all are gonna be seeing videos in the same day, probably, because when it's on my mind and they popping, I'm gonna get them out there. But I was reading this article online how they had found a homeless man behind a restaurant in a cardboard box, dead in Jamaica, in Kingston, Jamaica. And they couldn't identify him at first. They said all he had on him was a tin can of weed, an old beat up guitar, and an old faded photo of Parliament, a place in Jamaica. And yeah, it seems that when they had his DNA tested and got it back from the coroner, that it came back that the homeless man was Bob Marley. Now, they showed the pictures online, a split screen of the Bob Marley as we know, and the homeless man resemblance. It looked just like Bob Marley. Only difference is you could tell this man is older. His dress has changed color, like a dirtyish blonde gray, but he looks just like Bob Marley. I was reading on the article, and it was just saying how in 1981, I think that was when Bob Marley died, he supposedly faked his death. He was was coming from somewhere in a plane, and the plane supposedly crashed. And that's what everybody knew. It said in the article that, he was tired of the fame. It was becoming to be too much. He made a deal with the government that they could have all the royalties to his most successful album, which was Exodus, if they would just write it off that, yes, he got in a plane crash, he was dead. And, in Jamaica, there's a Bob Marley museum. And in the tomb, that's supposedly where he's supposed to be laying it. So, with that being said, I was like, wow, is this really true? But then it goes back to my mind. I started thinking about all this Illuminati stuff. People, they get in these positions and the fame, and they want this and they want that. And really, they just want to do their craft. They love music. They love acting, whatever it may be. And then it's kind of like they get swarmed with the whole being a star. And before you know it, it changes you as a person. Now, I'm not saying that it changed Bob Marley. He seemed to be a down-to-earth, very cool, calm, collected dude. And he knew what he was talking about in the videos. In the videos that we see on TV. But sometimes we never know what a person might be thinking. We never know what they might be going through. You know what I'm saying? And it's the government. My opinion, they done became like murderers. Everything that we see that's happening now, police, all these government officials, they're in the, as you would say, corporate America, or whatever you want to call it. But in reality, the way that I see it, they're nothing but murderers in uniforms. And that's all it is. But back to the Bob Marley thing. So it kind of, intrigued my mind, because I was like, man, this man had a lot of money. Did his family know that he was still living? Did he make a deal and still, because, he had a lot of kids and an ex-wife and all this type of stuff. Did they know that he was homeless? Did they know? Or did he just want it as nobody would know? Because I don't know, that would be kind of hard for me. Even if I wanted to hide from the fame, it would be hard for me to hide from my kids, my loved ones. And 1981, and it's 2016. You feel me? That's a long time. So that's like 30 something years. I don't know. It just makes me think. It just makes me think. But I just started to be very interested. And I was like, wow, if this is true, this man been living all this time hiding out. He'd rather be homeless now, than to be swarmed up by the government, the whole being a star, the fame and fashion. It makes you think, that the things that we really want, do we really want them once we get them, But anyway, that's just my opinion. Yeah, so put it down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you seen the article? And yeah, until next time, peace.